Hello, me my homies. Welcome to another exciting episode of Stacking Triggers, a podcast for podcast enthusiasts about card games and card game enthusiasts about podcasts. I'm Dan. Hello. Welcome. Bill, you're also here. How are you?
Disheveled, crazy, tired, sweaty, gross. For those of you who don't know, my kitchen flooded back in October. We had a terrible, terrible time with contractors. We fired said contractors and have gotten more done in a month than waiting for the contractors to give us a price that was appropriate.
Right.
So just finished putting kind of cement board down to lay tile tomorrow. So that's kind of why I'm weird looking, aside from my normal aesthetic.
Yeah. And you do look disheveled, but it's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine. Dan, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Everything's fine. I thought my second One Piece Store Regionals was today and confused the fuck out of one local game store employee who was like, no, I'm trying to sign up for the store regional that's happening today. Meanwhile, what's happening is like fucking Battletech or like something like that. Like one of those massive tabletop games was going on. And it's like, where are we going to play? Interesting. Not putting like two and two together like, oh, it's not this weekend, you fucking idiot. It's next weekend.
Hopefully you didn't have to travel far for that one.
20 minutes, so it was fine.
Okay, it wasn't terrible.
No. But I felt more bad for the person behind the counter than myself. But
oh my God.
Fun story. So on today's episode, we're going to talk about our Fortnite and card games as per usual. We're going to talk about some canceled tournaments and slash like canceled coverage because of reasons, which we will get into. And then we're going to talk about WOTC unveiling a brand new booster after telling us that they didn't want to confuse the market by having 3 boosters.
Yes.
So we'll start with the Fortnite and card games. Bill, your Fortnite, go.
Tabletop paper play, 0. Very sad. Last week was the 4th of July, so no attendance, and I didn't go because of family stuff. This week, I was prepping the kitchen to get ready for this weekend, so again, couldn't go. Next week, I better go, or else I'm going to lose my stuff. Other than that, though, I've just been playing some more Legacy online. Kind of enjoying the mono black oops all spells.
Okay.
It's been maybe about a 50%, 45% win rate here. Probably closer to 30, actually, if I'm being honest. Yeah. The fizzle rate on it is it's oops all spells, first of all. So if they have any graveyard interaction at instant speed, I'm just donezo. But the second part of it, though, is like you go into game 2 with Charbelcher and Lion's Eye Diamond, and Charbelcher just loops cards through your deck. It doesn't care about the graveyard, so that's kind of how you fight through the graveyard hate. But yeah, I don't know, like 30 to 45% good. I don't know, like I won 3 on a league before. It's been a long time since I won three games in a single league.
Mm-hmm. So why are you not moving to like Charbelcher being the actual win con of the deck as opposed to Balustrade Spy / Lawless Troll, I think?
No, it's Spy and Thoracle. So what? So the deck is you do the Spy or Undercity Informant.
Mm-hmm.
They put your entire deck into your graveyard. You have 4 Narcomoebas. The Narcomoebas come back, and then you do Dredge Return, sacrificing 3 Narcomoebas to get Thoracle out. And since you don't have any cards in your deck, you win.
Okay. So to continue the question, why aren't you just playing Belcher in the main instead of Balustrade Spy?
Because this is the deck that was shown online.
But it feels like if everyone's like packing graveyard hate, then the immediate answer is to just switch to that being the win con, and then inside post sideboard games, you switch to the Balustrade Spy, and then if it goes to game 3, you're like, all right, well, it could be Belcher, it could be Spy. What are you going to sideboard in for this?
So there is the potential for the turn 1 win, and that there's a couple ways to do that, right? So
Like
grief.
Dark Rit.
No, it's better than that. So there's a card, Culling the Weak. It's a 1 mana instant. Sacrifice a creature, add 4 black to your mana pool.
Okay.
Balustrade Spy and the Undercity Informant, both is essentially 4 mana to do the thing. You put a grief out on the field, see what they have, take away any interaction that they got, sacrifice your grief before you evoke trigger to the Culling the Weak, and do your thing. So that's how you win. Turn 1 with that. There's also another line where it's Dark Ritual into Entomb into Reanimate.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because it's an ETB effect on the Undercity Informant. And so,
or Spy.
No, Spy isn't activated for 1 mana.
Oh, well, okay then.
Which I guess you still would have the 1 mana left over anyway. Yeah. So either way, it doesn't matter. Whatever. But yeah, those are kind of like your turn 1 wins if you're on the play, if you can do it. And like there's enough of a stuff that turn 1 is stronger and easier to do, thanks to grief being like essentially a free spell.
So what you're saying is, if grief gets banned in Legacy, the deck is dead.
The deck becomes mono black. Oops, all spells is bad. Yeah, at that point, there's still like you could do like a blue, like a blue black version. Probably be all right. Run Force of Wills and blue cards that are good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be harder to win.
Well,
yeah,
okay.
That's been it. And then just kind of playing Dimir Shadow online. Not having good luck.
In Legacy or Modern?
Modern. Yeah, I just haven't been having good luck. Because like the format's still shifting a lot. I'm having a rough time understanding like what I need to take or where should I counter at this point.
Sure.
Yeah. But that's it. How about you?
Yeah, my Fortnight and card games. So starting with Magic, last week I played Is It Murktide, and I played 1 round, and my opponent went Cavern of Souls, Aether Vial, playing humans, game 1 and 2. Just like somehow had it both times, and I'm just like, he goes like Cavern, Aether Vial. I'm like, okay, and then he's like, all right, Thali's Lieutenant, Thali's Lieutenant trigger on the stack, Aether Vial in Guide of Souls, and I'm like, sure, man, whatever you want to do. And then proceeds to go like, all right, second Thali's Lieutenant. And I'm just like, okay, cool. Third Thali's Lieutenant. You got it. Like, good for you, man. Like, you're the greatest player of all time. And then he goes in game 2, Cavern of Souls, Aether Vial. I'm like, cool, great, thanks, love this. This is amazing. You're definitely not stacking or anything. Into Thali's Lieutenant, Guide of Souls again, into Sanctifier and Vec. I'm like, you just got it, man. You're the greatest player of all time, or you're the biggest fucking cheater of all time. I don't know which one it is. I don't want to play with you anymore.
Yeah, holy cow. That just gutted you.
Like, that's ridiculous. Like, how is that his exact start 2 games in a row? Someone run the numbers. What's the percent likelihood of the same 4 cards being the first 4 cards he plays?
Very, very low, in my opinion.
I think it's like astronomically low. Like I'm talking like potentially decimals of a percent.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Because I don't want to do I don't want to have to do like the fucking Pro Tour shuffle at my locals.
You better.
But if
start.
I have to because you're a fucking idiot and you want to stack your deck in a way, like, then I'll fucking do it. You're trying to run the numbers?
Oh, yeah. It's like 0.5%.
Yeah. So, like, did I just get high rolled? Maybe.
Yeah.
Is there a greater likelihood of that guy being a fucking cheater? Probably.
Oh, wait. No, that's to have 4 of the same cards. Sorry.
4 of the same card twice. Oh, I see what you're saying.
The odds to have 4 of the same card.
Yeah, I'm talking like the same exact starting sequence. With assuming, I'm going to assume that Guide of Souls, Thalia's Lieutenant, Cavern, and Aether Vial are all 4-ofs.
Yeah. Okay. So for card A and card B, because for some reason the calculator doesn't let you do more than that, the odds are 1.186%. So it's less than 1% to have 4, like the same 4 cards.
The same 4. Yeah.
Yeah. In a start. And Grant, maybe he drew one. Like if he drew.
Yeah, because he was on the play for the first turn and then on the draw. So, like, that does change the math slightly, but even still, that's under 1%.
Yeah, it's still like 1.5% out of 8 cards. Yeah, it's bad. The odds are bad. You either just got variance the fuck or or something else is happening. Anyways.
Yeah. So I dropped immediately. I was just like, if I'm either getting A, high rolled, or B, cheated, I don't want to be playing today. So I just dropped.
Yeah.
Then this week I played a Demiurge Murktide build. It's the Yuta Takahashi Pro Tour build with Deep Analysis in the main. And boy, let me tell you, a card never came up. Deep Analysis. Shocker, a 4-mana sorcery never came up. Who could have foreseen such a thing?
Yeah. Like, I understand people's reasoning for wanting to play that. I get it. Because, like, you just pitch it to Psychic Frog. And then you get to cast it for 2 mana. And it buffs your Murktide because it's leaving your graveyard. Yeah, because you're flashing it back.
And then you get 2 more cards that you can throw away to Psychic Frog. And then you can exile all those cards to give your frog flying and then pump your Murktide. And it's like,
But you're running 20 lands, right? And the odds of having enough mana to be able to do that and hold up your counters is like really bad.
Really low. So, I also never saw it to do that exact line. Like, I played 3 rounds. Because I was 3-0 going into round 4, and I then got the handshake with my opponent. But so round 1, I played against, like, remember that mono blue build we were playing in Standard? It was like Haughty Djinn and like Clarion Terror. He was playing a version of that. Like, it was like Delver of Secrets plus like Consider, Preordain, Counterspell, Spell Pierce, Spell Snare, Haughty Djinn, Talarian. He might have played Talarian Terror. I think he just played Murktide instead over Talarian Terror. But like Sinking to Stupor, like those are the cards I all saw. And so round 1, so like game 1, he goes like Delver. He's on the draw, and he goes, all right, turn 1 Delver, and it's like, he doesn't know that I'm a Demure deck. Well, this is gonna be bad for him.
Oh no.
So I just go like, all right, second land pass, and then in your upkeep on the Delver trigger, I'm going to Bowmasters in, targeting your Delver. And he's like, with his 1 mana, he's like, yep, that happens. And I'm just like, yep. And then Bowmasters just continues to, like, the entire game just is like the best.
He's trying to draw cards the entire game. Yeah.
He's the best. He's the best card in the entire game in this matchup. I think I got to like a 5/5 Orc Army token at one point because he just had to keep cantripping to find answers, and it's like, well, you're just dead now.
And it sounds like he didn't run Brazen Borrower in the main.
No, he ran Sinking to Stupor, but it's just like, I think he even
saw for 3 mana though.
He went Sinking to Stupor onto my Orc Army, and I'm like, all right, here's a Murktide. What are you gonna do about this? You know?
Oh, get fucked, Mono Blue.
Yeah. So he said it was a homebrew and he wasn't sure how it would go. And hey, guess what? Blew into
Demir's
Orcish
bad.
Bowmasters. Not very good.
God damn.
Yeah, that guy
Get
got
fucked,
fucked
kid.
on. I felt slightly bad, but I mean, you showed up to a locals with a homebrew that you didn't really test or really think about if your number one problem is going to be Orcish Bowmasters and you don't have a response to it.
Yeah, that's not cool, bud.
Yeah.
But hey, at least he tried.
He tried. I don't know how he went in that event, mainly because I can't see prior events in the companion app, which is something you can do in the Bandai app. You can see results.
Yeah, it'd be nice, Wizards, if we could see our previous standings from the past, Wizards.
Yeah, it'd be great.
Please.
Because that way you can be like, I can be like, oh yeah, he went like blah or whatever. All right, round 2.
Or you, yeah.
I played against Burn. It was a list that the store had that somebody borrowed because I don't know why they don't have a modern deck. I think they said, oh, they're building Jeskai Control. So I have to start creating a sideboard for that, or a sideboard plan for that. So game 1, they get me down to like 7, and I'm like, all right, I got spell snares in hand. Like, what are you gonna do about it? And he's like, Boros Charm, and I'm like, cool, spell snare. And he's like, yeah. I'm like, all right, here's a frog, here's a Murktide, go. It's an 8/8 Murktide. Because like the amount of times I could just slam an 8/8 Murktide was like astronomical. So he's just like, all right, I'm at like 13. Like, you can't kill me next turn. And I'm like, oh, opponent. You poor opponent. How do you not know this? So I just like discard a couple cards to Psychic Frog. He's like, all right, it's an 11. And it's like, all right, I'm going to give you Psychic Frog's second ability. I'm going to exile 3 instants and sorceries, give my frog flying. And he's like, oh, yeah, you got it. Yeah, I'm fucking dead. I'm like, yeah, you're fucking dead. You're just the deadest.
Fucking dead. Frog plus Murktide is insane.
It's insane. I love it. And then game 2, same story. Yeah, I had an 8/8 Murktide out. He goes like Boros Charm, and I'm like, all right, Spell Snare. And he's like, all right, I've had enough. And I'm like, yeah, I have 3 Spell Snare in the main. Like, it's really good right now.
He's like, yeah, you got it. It's like, I don't blame you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I do have it. I know. You don't tell me I have it. I know I have it.
Oh God, burn! Like I'm assuming it was like pre MH3 burn too.
Yeah, no Flages in it because
no
Flages is a $30 card.
Yeah, it is.
So
it might be more now.
No, that's about $30. I just cracked a box of MH3 and pulled a Flage out of it. So
a whole box.
Yeah, a whole box. And then I traded in some of the stuff to the store. It was like $60. I think I wound up getting like $100 out of credit for that box. Which
three Flages is $104.
Sure is. So yeah, Burn still good Murktide matchup. And then funnily enough, my round 3 opponent was the 14-year-old that I've been teaching how to play One Piece. So he'll walk up to me and be like, "Hey, let me borrow this deck," and I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And so he and I played not One Piece, so we played actual Magic, and he whips out Burn. So I'm like,
"Oh
great.
no,
I'm going 3-0. There's not even a fucking question." So game 1, I just smoke him. Like it's not even funny. Like so, I just continue my same
sideboard.
My same sideboard plan, which was like. What did I even take out? I took out like 2 cards. Oh, I dropped like Deep Analysis for like subtle, like Force of Negation plus another Spell Snare. Because like, yeah,
why not?
Like Force of Negation, good. Spell Snare, really good. Like the deck had Lightning Helix, Boros Charm, and Eidolon. So like,
yeah. Dang, bud.
So game 2, I actually lose. He was down to like 2. And in black, you don't have burn outside of Soul Spike, so or there's other black burn spells, but like you're not playing them in Frogtide. It's not happening.
I mean, the only thing you had would be what? Bowmasters, which just sucks into burn. Because they're not drawing extra cards, are they?
Game 3.
What are they drawing?
Game 3. He is forced to play 2 Sunbaked Canyons early.
Oh.
So he goes,
no.
all right, Sunbaked Canyon, activate effect. I'm like, yeah, response, Bowmasters. Ping you, on draw, hit you again. And he's like, okay. And he's like, all right. It gets to a point where he's like, I have to just, I have no cards in hand. Like, I have to draw again. So I'll just do it again. I'm like, cool. Second Bowmasters. Ping you, double ping you. I now have a 5/5 orc army and 2 1/1s.
Get wrecked.
What are you going to do? And he's like, I can't beat this. I'm like, correct. You cannot beat a 5/5 orc army. There's no way. You just have no chance against this 5/5 orc army.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe Demir was the best Murktide all along.
Maybe it was. Because, like, outside of Frog is like the only. Right? Am I crazy?
Yeah. That's like that's like the new one.
It's Frog.
Stupor.
Sink into Stupor.
Consign to Memory, but that's a sideboard
memory
card.
On the side. Yeah, it's mostly just like, because Frog is like what everybody wanted Ledger Shredder to be. Like, Ledger Shredder, we all talked about it, was like, oh man, it can cycle through your bad cards. Like you can just ditch lands you don't want. And it's like, okay, but you're not pumping the Ledger Shredder. Well, if I have like 5 lands in hand and a Psychic Frog on the battlefield, I just go, okay, I'm going to dump 3 of these lands, and then I have a 4/5 Frog that draws me a card every turn. What are you going to do about it?
Fatal Push it.
Fatal Push it, obviously, but like, that is its one big weakness, is Fatal Push. But like,
Engineer Explosives,
but like that's 4 mana to deal with it. Like, that's a lot of mana.
That is a lot of mana. Yeah.
So
it's good though.
Like, I think Frog's really good. I kind of don't want to play Is It anymore. Like, because Ragavan's kind of fallen off a bit in terms of its power level. Like, the creature combo decks, like fucking Amp Raptor on turn 2 is just like, I have first strike, so we don't even trade. You just lose your Ragavan. Guide of Souls. They're willing to go like, oh, I'm gonna kill your Ragavan with my Guide of Souls? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that sucks too, because it's like, I just bought them.
Just play Boros Energy. I think it's good in Boros Energy. If you play Boros Energy with 4 Blood Moon, you're chilling.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody's been building the Eldrazi decks in paper yet, like in your area.
Somebody this week played them, and then the person who would have been my round 4 opponent beat them, which is hilarious. Let me tell you what this deck is. But yeah, Dimir Murktide seems so strong right now, like well positioned, like with
that's awesome.
Bowmasters being able to hit like basically everything in the Boros Energy deck. Just like, Ajani. I'm like, okay, cool. Bowmasters the Ajani. Oh, Amped Raptor. Cool. Bowmasters the Amped Raptor. Oh, Ragavan. Okay, cool. Bowmasters the Ragavan. There's a lot of
Johnny isn't it Johnny like a 1/2?
2/1.
Or is it a 2/1?
I thought it was a 2/1.
Oh, I'm checking right now because I have.
I'm fairly confident.
Yeah. It's a 1/2.
Oh, it's a 1/2.
It's a 1/2.
Okay, well then,
I have a playset here.
Then that just gets hit. That just gets hit with Fatal Push. Then,
yeah, fuck it, Fatal Push it.
Yeah. So yeah, I like the build. I hate the deep analysis, and I hate that there's no basic swamp, because I'm sure there's the outside pocket cases where somebody just goes, all right, turn 2 Blood Moon, and I'm just like, well, shit. I can't.
Yeah, all my removals in black, so
like, the best I can do is like draw into my 2 islands and play Sink into Stupor to return it, and then like fetch up all my other shit.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah. I think especially too with the Harbinger, like you need at least one basic of any color that you're running.
Yeah. and I'm not double pipping anything in black, but if I was double pipping in black, I feel like you need 2, and running 2 basic island and 2 basic swamp, like that just completely fucks
that messes your mana up.
Your mana base is just so bad then. But round 4, I played against somebody who was basically playing Pauper Blue Fairies.
What?
Yep.
How'd they get that far?
Went 3-0 with Pauper Mono Blue Fairies, essentially. Like he had he had fetches and shit, but he's playing Fairy Seer, Fairy Miscreant, or not Fairy Miscreant, Spellstarter Sprite, Ninja the Deep Hours, and I'm like, man, you fucking cooked this next. I love Pauper Fairies, it's so good. But the thing is I'm convinced that nobody had any idea what the deck was because they don't play Pauper.
Right.
And then there's me who played that deck Pauper for a solid month.
Yeah. So you do it in and out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you knew not to play into crap.
Yeah. He goes I go a 1 mana spell, and he goes, all right, Spellstarter Sprite. And I'm like, cool, Spell Snare, your Spellstarter Sprite. And he's like, all right, Counterspell. I'm like, all right, Spell Snare, your fucking Counterspell. He's like, yep, you got it. I was like, okay. Shit like that. I just know how to play through it. I know Spellstarter Sprites. The second I saw Fairy here, I'm like, this man's fucking cooking. What am I witnessing?
What is he doing? Oh my god!
But yeah, it was awesome.
You guys drew with each other.
We drew. It was just the handshake. Hey, store employee, and then the handshake.
Yeah.
Hey, just so you know, we're drawing on this.
That's hilarious.
So,
oh my god!
We played one game for fun, and
nice.
Let me tell you something. Bowmaster's in that deck too. This is a Bowmaster's day. Just a Bowmaster's day on Wednesday.
That's fantastic. Oh,
but there was one Eldrazi player. There was a Zoo player. I think they might have been doing Cat Zoo.
I think Cat Zoo's the new Zoo.
Yeah,
because if you can get, I think there's a red cat you can get down that when a Johnny flips, enables you to be able to murder your opponent through burn damage.
Yeah, because I watched Mangu get fucking dumpstered by it in not it being that deck, but a flip to Johnny with the burn portion. It was Mardu Energy with a Johnny and Obnixilus the Adversary. Yeah, somebody cooked with Obnixilus the Adversary from New Capenna, and here we are.
What the fuck? That's insane.
Yeah, you know me. I hate 3-color anything. I really do.
I know. But the Mardu version, I think, is actually the best version of that deck because you can run Grief, you can run Bowmasters, you can run the good cards. The Grief Scam package is in that deck, and that's true. And the Carthar the Recurring Nightmare. Yeah, the Nightmare. Yeah, bring everything back that's getting removed. It's great.
Yeah,
it's a really good.
That card says
addition.
Return this card to your hand, which is insane. That's an insane line of text to have on that piece of cardboard.
Yeah, and you're running the Galvanic Discharges in there too to just help build it up. So it's
and you have Flage, because why not?
Yeah, it's in the colors. Why not?
It's maybe the best card from Modern Horizons 3. Who knows?
I don't know. I want to see what the most expensive one is. But yeah. It sounds like you had an awesome Fortnight.
I mean, I had a good time. I got my $30 in store credit for winning, so I can't complain. I want other deck. I want to play other decks because mono blue pile, not really representative. Burn could be there, but it's also Burn, a good matchup for Murktide. I just know how to play against Burn already. Bring back, give me the Nadu player, give me the Eldrazi player, give me the Jeskai. Get your pieces for
You're not going to see Nadu,
everybody.
You're not going to see Nadu in a little bit.
We'll see. I don't know. If we don't, like, there might have to be an emergency episode on the 15th or even the 22nd, maybe even the 29th. Who knows? But it's going to be on Monday. It will, like, if Wizards does do an emergency ban list, it will be on Monday.
That's true. Yeah, they have to do a Monday because it has to. Well, they don't have to, but players prefer it on a Monday.
Historically,
so that way they
Wizards
can scramble.
only announces bans on Monday.
Yeah, so people can scramble for their Thursday, Friday, stuff. Yeah.
All right, but also I had a One Piece store regional over last week, and I went 4-2 there for 16th out of 64. So nice. Round one, the deck I was on was Red Purple Law, which is considered by many to be the best deck in the format. It's close. So I play round one into Perona, which is a black-green leader that says, hey, for free, you can rest a character of 4 cost or less. And Red Purple Law, a lot of 4 cost characters. So they just get to rest your shit for free and then clear it with this card called Ryuma, which says KO rested 4 cost or lower. And you're like, cool, thanks, bud. So I don't think I played this matchup aggressively enough. I should have been double deploying a lot instead of single deploying a lot. And that just kind of let them like maintain their tempo and use their Dawn to kind of like draw cards as opposed to try to remove my board, which that's generally how you need to beat them, is like starve them on cards and then they just hit them in the face because like they just don't have a ton of counter. This guy saw a lot of his counter. Like I never got him below 3 life, which was wild and insane. I legitimately couldn't believe that at the end of the game. But I also don't think I played the matchup properly. Round 2, I played against Enel, which is a bullshit leader that we all hate. But the person I was playing didn't play the matchup right because a lot of what Yellow's removal is based around is how much life you and your opponent have. Well, there's this card called Garatsu that says KO a character of an opponent's character with a cost of like less than or equal to their life. So that's a 5 Dawn character. So generally, if you have that in your opening hand with Enel, you're supposed to not swing until you can play that card and then KO a character for free from Red Purple Law. Nope. Their second turn that they're able to hit me, they hit me. And I'm like, yeah, sure, hit me.
Do it.
Please, hit me. Just hit me. And from there, it just snowballed out of control because they just couldn't deal with my board efficiently because they just kept hitting me for some reason. It was like, okay, like I'm going to go to 2, so that way you can't KO anything that I play. And we're going to move from there. And then round 3, I played against a black-yellow Luffy. This is a deck you're aware of. Bill, would you like to guess on how many Dawn they went to 0 life?
What? Was it 3?
Close. 4. They went to 0 on 4 Dawn. On their turn 2 play, they went on their 2 Dawn play, they went Flampe, take a life, draw a card. Flampe, take a life, draw a card. I then hit them, and they're like, yep, I'll take that. And then the following turn, they go Hiyori, replace my life with a Luffy, play a baby Luffy, make my leader a 7K. But the turn before, I developed 2 5K swings. So I have 3 7K swings that I can now do on the following turn. Burn their hand. They're like, all right, I only have enough Dawn to make my leader a 7K. So I'm going to make my leader a 7K again, and I'll swing into one of your characters. I'm like, all right, protect. I've also developed 2 other characters. All right, so here's 7 swings for 7K. Can you stop this with 4 cards in hand? Oh, you can't? You're dead. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
You're dead on my 7 Dawn turn. What are you doing?
Yeah, why didn't they boost, like, get into a position to get him up to like 10, 14K?
That needs to happen later in the game. Like, they just needed to wait.
Yeah.
You have the Flampes and Hioris in hand. You don't need, like, just let me hit you.
No, yeah. Yeah.
If you're going to do that, let me hit you. It didn't make any sense. They just didn't play again. I played a second person who did not play the matchup right. Round 3, I played against, round 4, I played against Black OP07 Black Lucci, and this is supposed to be one of my worst matchups. And it was a really funny interaction before the game because I'm shuffling my deck, and my opponent's like, "Hey, can I do like the not the Pro Tour shuffle, but like, hey, can I shuffle your deck?" And I'm like, "Yeah, go for it." So they shuffle. I look at my hand, and it's like, this is fucking dreadful. This is one of the worst hands I think I've ever seen in my entire life. So I'm like, I'm gonna mulligan. And they're like, all right, that's fine. So I shuffle up and present my deck for them to cut. And they're like, you seem like a trustworthy person. And I'm like, yes, I'm a trustworthy person. But then I open my 5-card hand and it's like, this is the best hand I ever fucking could have asked for. Like,
oh my God.
it's reduction, double ramp, kid, and then kid killer, which is the rush end game ender card. So like, I just go like, all right, hit you for 5, develop 2 bodies, pass. And they're like, okay, I don't have any early removal, so I can't really deal with any of your characters. So I'm just going to like swing 5 into you. I'm like, cool, thanks. I'll take an extra card. Oh, it's another kid killer. Thank you. Excellent. All right. Hit you for 5, hit you for 5, hit you for 5, develop 2 more bodies. And they're like, all right, I'll go remove one of your characters. I'm like, great. I'll swing into one of your characters because I've used all my Dawn. I'll defend. Okay. And then I go, all right. Go to my next turn. All right. 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 7, 7. And they're like, I'm dead. And I'm like, yeah, you're dead. You're just dead. You're just gone. It's over for you.
Oh
like
my
they
God.
just could not, like they couldn't remove anything on my board early, and I just applied way too much pressure for them to even try. And I was after the game, I was like, you probably should have just shuffled my deck, man. You just should have shuffled it. I'm sorry to say. And then the next game
crazy.
Was against Green Bonnie for round 5. I'm 3-1 at this point. And early, I have control of the board. I have them down to like 1 or 2 life. And then as they go to 0, their following turn, they go, all right, use this Captain Kid, which is an 8 cost, 8K, that says if there's a Dawn under this, you can only, and this is rested, you can only attack this character. So that's like a big problem for Red Purple Law, is that card stifles a lot of attacks because, as I said with my last swings, I was going like 5, 5, 5, 5. It's really hard for the deck to get multiple 8 swings in, but I had to do it. So I had to go like, there were a couple turns where I was going like, all right, 8, 8, 8. And he was like, all right, counter, counter, block. All right, next turn, do it again. 8, 8, 8. Counter, counter, block. And it's like, I need reduction really badly. And we're almost like, it's almost to the point where I'm going to lose the next turn if I don't get reduction. Top deck reduction. All right, cool. I can go reduction 5, 5, 5. And he's like 4 cards in hand. And it's like, all right, it's dead. And I have a kid killer in hand with like 4 Dawn up. So I just go, all right, leader effect, 4 Dawn underneath it. Here's 11. And he's like, can't beat 11. And I was like, yep, correct. You can't beat 11. You have no cards in hand. So I win that one. And he just kind of stares at the wall for a while. And I was like,
oh, it was that guy.
Yeah, he fucking disassociated, man. I felt so bad. I was like, yeah, I should not have won this game. But, I mean, how the cards work. I drew my reduction. You drew your best card in the matchup. And I still came through.
You won. Oh, that's crazy.
Final round was a mirror match. So I play, as you noticed, I've now played 6 different decks in 6 rounds, which good meta. But I played a mirror match and I lose. I don't think I played it right. I needed, on my last turn, instead of trying to go for a game, I just needed to clear board. If I clear board, I just win the game. Because they just can't develop enough swings, and like there are 2 cards left in hand. They can't develop enough swings to get through, and I can just like bleed their board and their hand to just win the game. But I don't see it until like afterwards because I'm an idiot. So because I'm playing too fast, I'm just trying to like blitz them out and make them make mistakes. But you know, when you're at 4-1, you can't do what you did when you're 0-1 against players you are clearly better than.
Right.
So I fucked up. I shouldn't have done it that way. I should have just played it slower. If I played it slower, I win the game, like I said, and I get my Nats invite. instead. Or
Damn.
actually, that's not true. I might not get it because my breakers are so bad that even at 4-2 and my first round my two opponents who beat me got their Nats invites, I was still 16th.
Oh wow! So yeah, you might not have made it.
I don't think I would have gotten there with my breakers.
It would have been close, but
I think I would have gotten 6th and lost my shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's my One Piece thing. I have another store regional next weekend. Not this weekend, not today as we record, but in a week.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about some canceled tournaments and coverage. So, Bill, what was that legacy tournament that issued something?
That was one in Pennsylvania, I believe.
It was like Owl City, which I know is a music group, but like also...
It's a card store on the eastern side of the state, I believe.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it in our Discord chat.
Because I know we talked
Central.
about.
Okay, so
Owl Central. Yes,
I'm going to read out their statement really quickly as this loads. I'm going to read out part of the statement. After long in-depth discussions between our events team, store leadership, and entrenched legacy players, we have come to the following conclusion of we're canceling our event. Due to the current state of legacy and the sentiment of local regional legacy players, our event is likely not to live up to the expectations that previous events have set for quality, competitiveness, and attendance. That's why we have decided to cancel the event at this time. It is clear that the greater legacy community feels that Wizards of the Coast should have banned grief from legacy for the health of the format. This feeling has created a lot of discourse, the majority of which has been around how players will be shying away from legacy until the next B&R announcement in August. This, along with other major legacy events in the region, indicate to us that our event will likely be the one many players choose to forego. So that's just an excerpt. You can find that on their website, outcentralgames.com. Bill, you're the legacy player. Tell me about this.
Yeah, okay. So the biggest thing in legacy right now is there is currently a blue-black scam deck. It's called Riscaminator.
Mm-hmm.
It's over 50%, I believe, of the meta. I'm looking here. Actually, it's 33% meta share according to Goldfish. But okay, over the last 7 days, it's 44%.
Jesus Christ!
Yeah, I don't know how true that is, but the play pattern is turn 1 grief scam, reanimate grief, bring it back. And people are very upset because it's like, well, there goes all my combo pieces. Or, well, I can't recover from this. And I'm like, okay, this is Modern has been dealing with this for a long time. If Modern, a lower level format, can deal with this, you need to deal with this. Yes. In my opinion, I have probably the most unpopular opinion that there's nothing wrong with this and that people just need to figure it out. Granted, it probably sucks because, they're in blue. So they get the free Force of Wills, days, whatever, to counter this shit out. But also, like, that's 2 cards they have to have, plus a pitch card. So they're they're going down 1 card for sure. They're scamming you potentially for your first card. If you have 2 pieces of interaction to just stop them from bringing it back, cool. You get to keep your an extra card, and they have to play reanimate on a later turn.
Yeah,
potentially. So, like, to me, this is like Legacy is supposed to be high powered. Meta, adjust.
Yeah,
like, come on.
I feel like that's a general sentiment that I have towards Magic the Gathering players is that they don't like to adjust. That's why I want to play against Nadu because I want to learn how to play against Nadu. You know, Anecdotally, I've just played against a buddy yesterday at the store who was playing a bad matchup for Red Purple Law, and I'm like, no. He's like, I feel bad that you played into like a bad matchup. I'm like, no. I want to learn how to play this matchup because there's got to be a way for me to navigate this matchup. because like otherwise it can't just be an auto loss. That's the same thing like that other players should be taking into account is like, this can't just be an auto loss. Like I can't just be losing this because, they just rip all my combo pieces. So they just rip all my pieces. You have to adjust in some way. These lists have to get more resilient.
Yeah, and like even look at like mtgdex.net, like they're saying the meta share is 24% for the last 2 weeks. Last 30 days has been 21.
So it's a 20%.
It's been 21. Yeah, it's a 20. It's a 20% deck. Its win rate is probably pretty high. It's not terrible. It's 53%. Domain beanstalks. Oh, that's the last 180. Let's just look at the last 60. Okay, yeah. F these people complaining. It's the Reanimator is a 52%. Domain beanstalks, 58% win rate, and probably is a lot harder to play through.
Sure.
Than Riskanimator. All right, in my opinion.
Sure.
Because they get so much more card draw. Like that's their whole thing is being able to draw a crap ton of cards.
Yeah.
Like, okay, whatever. Apparently there's a Teamer Cascade deck that's at 67%.
It's fine.
Legacy is meant to be high powered and people just need to learn how to do it. Like Vexing Bauble, also, like if you're on the play, run Vexing Bauble in your main.
Yeah.
Okay. Vexing Bauble stops this thing.
It stops that. It stops Force of Will.
Yes.
Stops days.
There are answers. Like just stop. Just stop being dumb. It's probably a really unpopular opinion, but I get it. I get it. It sucks.
Telling players to play better is generally an unpopular opinion.
Yeah, I'm not telling people to play better. I'm telling people to think more about their decks. Like, if your deck is that tight and will not work with an adjustment, there's something wrong with your deck. You should have flex slots,
yes,
to be able to answer these things.
All right. Along those lines, the NRG series also announced that their Energy Chicago would not be their Energy Chicago Modern event would not be streamed. Unfortunately, our pre-registration numbers didn't see strength at time of decision, and we had to make financial considerations. Please know that we will continue to bring you live coverage for future events. We will keep you updated on players, deck lists, and results throughout this weekend. In the meantime, go check out Apex Gaming, which, that's all in-house. They don't actually have to carry into that stuff. Players come to that as opposed to NRG doing like convention centers. That said, NRG reported 219 players for their Modern Showdown. So I don't know what they thought. Like, because we they even recognized that, like, hey, pre-registration numbers normally go up in the 48 hours beforehand. But like, how bad were the numbers beforehand that they were just like, well, we're shutting it off. We're not doing any stream coverage. It's just going to be pictures and such.
But it's 200 and some odd people.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand. It's 200 and some odd people. Why is that not being streamed?
I don't know. Maybe
and this was for Modern?
More than that.
But this was for Modern?
For Modern.
I'm so confused why they...
Yeah,
that's so weird.
Of course,
okay.
They announced their top 8. And so here's the top 8 decks. I'm not going to say the players, but just the top 8 decks in order. All right, so first out of Swiss was Bant Nadu. Second, Bant Nadu. Third, Greentron. 4, Bant Nadu. 5, Jeskai Control. 6, Bant Nadu. 7, Jeskai Control. 8, Boros Energy. So 50% of their top 8, Nadu.
I wonder if that's why they did it, because they saw their pre-registration deck lists.
That's possible.
And they were like, oh, this is going to be all fucking Nadu. No, we're not doing this shit.
And look, it's still only Nadu. In fact, I think the event just wrapped up. Nadu mirror match for the finals. So
yeah, F that. Yeah. I get if that's why they canceled it, but they shouldn't blame their registration numbers.
They shouldn't blame the registration numbers, because that sounds like blaming the players more than anything. But so the health of the format, I think, is a big thing under the microscope for WOTC right now, considering that coverage for an event was just canceled at the last minute for everybody, considering that People don't want to play the modern format, seemingly, and bigger legacy event. Ultimately, I've never heard of this event before, but a bigger legacy event that people were looking forward to was also canceled because of the health of the format.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, the Bant Nadu one I think is worse than the Rescaminator one, in my opinion, because like what you're seeing is a lot of like on the Bant Nadu.
Mhm.
It's just constant like that's two bigger tournaments that we've seen, right? With the Pro Tour and now this one, where the top 8 was 50% Nadu. I don't
and the
think
finals
it's like
were
that.
Nadu Mirror.
Yeah, and the finals were Nadu Mirrors. Even looking at like the recent like legacy stuff tournaments and things like the Legacy Challenge, we have one. One Rescaminator in the top 8 of MTGO Legacy Challenge 32, and it got second. It did not win.
Sure. I don't know. I don't really trust the online metagame very much. I think paper metagames, like larger scale paper metagames, will tell you more about the actual metagame than online ever will.
I agree. I can agree with that. Yeah,
but
it's
yeah. So, Bill, does WOTC need to do something, or because like
for
in reality, players are not going to sack up and just play the formats and learn how to play the formats better. It seems like they're just going to stop playing the formats in general over getting better.
Yeah, if player attendance drops, yes, they need to do something. Even though my sentiment is that the Rescaminator deck is fine. That's my sentiment.
Yeah, I generally agree. Like, unfortunately, you do have to listen to the customer, and in this case, the customer is wrong. I just think they just need to play better. And hey, if like, because we're only a month out from MH3 release in the first place, like,
yeah, exactly.
You know, has anybody actually tried, or is everyone just bitched and moaned about Nadu? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Like the data being missing for so long too is really like that didn't help. So like having the data missing doesn't really help us see like what the evolution was of the meta or the decks, or to like see what people are playing and giving other people like ways to like combat it from other results. So I think there's going to be a lag in it. I think right now there's a lot of people not playing Nadu online for fear of Nadu taking a ban.
And the same, I think, probably the same in paper too, where they don't want to invest their money into Nadu and have it be banned. You know, Shuko's being $30 a piece or however much they are now. I don't think anyone wants to spend that money if Nadu's just going to get hit with an orbital strike.
Yep, exactly.
All right, Bill. So unfortunately, we're running short on time because you have a movie to catch with your wife. So we're not going to be able to talk about the value boosters. So we're going to have to push that to the next episode of Stacking Triggers. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We really appreciate it. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit like, subscribe, leave a comment. Let us know what you think of Bill's bad takes on legacy players just being bad at the game. And on podcast services, hit the follow button, subscribe, whatever the hell it is over on your podcast app. Please do that. And, leave us tweets over on Twitter, on X, whatever it is. Our ats are in the YouTube video. So,
bud.
Cross-pollinate. Go to YouTube. Go to your podcast service. This is
Engage.
A bunch of dudes just talking. Engage. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. And until the next time, keep calm and spike on.